What's up? How are you? Here we are again. It's another awesome day. I hope you're doing well. So today, just want to talk to you about the music, what I'm doing with the music, where I'm at with the music, because I'm trying to get an album done here. And I also want to go through Ableton and some of the creative process. I think these last couple of videos have kind of dived in a little bit on how I create, so I want to do that a little bit more as well. So there might be a lot of mistakes here going forward, and it's okay. I just want to show you some of my struggles and some of the hurdles that I go through during my journey here and setting things up. So I've been wanting to do live looping for a long time, so I think I'm going to invest in that here pretty soon. But I've gotten away with the looping that I do now to write. So I'm going to show you that process in case it helps you. I definitely know I'm going to invest in some new equipment here pretty soon. I don't know when that'll happen, but I definitely am looking at maybe getting the Ableton Push 2, I think it's called. Basically, it works with Ableton really well, and it'll allow me to do the live looping a little better, right? I enjoy playing with musicians a lot. Like, that's exactly why I started music, is just to have fun with my friends. But I also like just kind of meditating and writing music on my own and just having fun and enjoying what I want to create out there. But I definitely do enjoy writing music with others and collaborating with others. I think that's where the fun really is most of the time. So, but for this album, I'm kind of taking the lead on it and just, making sure it gets the feel that I'm looking for, at least for an entire album, right? So that's my goal here. But today, let's get in here. Let's dive in. Like I said, some things may not come out as smooth as I want during this recording. Let's get in. So I'm not going to show you how to set this up as far as the MIDI is concerned or anything like that. There's a lot of other videos because everybody's going to have some sort of different keyboard. And so that's not my objective today, right? To learn about MIDI. Mine is a little bit more on using the looper and or the looping system. By the way, there's a lot of ways to do looping. I'll put some good looping links below that I think are pretty good, just because I think they would benefit here. And then maybe even to like an artist or two that I like, I'll put a couple of links below. This is how I am currently using the looping, and it's very introductory, right? So if you don't have all the gear, it does take time to build up your gear and stuff. So I understand being on a budget. So if you don't have that and you just have Ableton and maybe just like a keyboard like this, I'm going to show you what I've done so far to start writing music. So, or at least how it helps me. Alright. So the first thing I do is I choose some drums. So for this one, I'm using this MIDI track here, and I've chosen the 808 core drum kit. So I'll go in here and I'll go for some drums, and in the sub menu here there's the 808 drum kit. So that's what I'm using here. And then on this track, what I'm using is a piano. So I go to this track here, and then I go to my instruments, and I sorted it out to piano and just chose a piano that I thought, and so I chose a grand piano here. So those are the two MIDI tracks that I've chosen. And then I also MIDI map. And once you've got this all set up and you start learning about MIDI, I'll MIDI map a few things here. So I'll hit the MIDI map, and I've already got things kind of set up. So I'm gonna delete all of these so you can see how this all works. So I've cleared all the MIDI. I've set it up on MIDI here. So if I want this button to be my play button, I select that, and then this becomes my play button. This becomes my record button, and then this becomes my stop button. And then I also like to set my tempo, so my tap tempo. So I'll set this pad here for my tap tempo. Alright, so that's the basics of what I do for MIDI mapping for myself. So now I'm gonna set a mood, and this is where it gets creative for me. Like sometimes I have no idea where I'm gonna go with the music. Sometimes I have no idea what I'm gonna play, or I just come in here and like, okay, it's probably time for me to clear the air, and I feel like writing something, and I'm in the mood, and I fire everything up. I turn on all this stuff, turn on the computer, and that takes me about a minute or two, and I try to make that as fast as possible, just so that when I sit down, my creative process is quick, and I'm not spending a lot of time to set up, right? So even this takes a little bit of time to fire up the computer, you know, bring the program up. So in that time, you know, I'm pulling the guitar, I'm turning it on. That all takes a little bit of setup time. So within 5-10 minutes, I feel like it's a good time for me to, I don't feel like my creativeness has dwindled, so I do like to have things set up so I can record immediately. So let me show you this here. So let's start. So I'm gonna start with a drum beat. So I have this on record, I'll hit record. Actually, I'm gonna set myself a mood, right? So let's do that. So let's, what am I feeling right here like? All right, this is like take, I don't even know, like 9 or 10. Things have not gone smooth by trying to demonstrate this, but let's try it again. So, I'm gonna try to write a beat here for you and try to, at the same time, put a little bit of a melody of a scratch track together. And let's try it, here we go. I'm gonna erase these ones and start all over. We'll turn the metronome on, that would be very helpful here. So I think that sounds pretty good, so let's duplicate this. Let's hear it. Now that it's the way I need it to be, and it sounds good, I'll put in the keyboard. So I'll start from the beginning, and I'll hit record. Something simple. So now that it's recorded like that, let's hear it, and then I'll throw a guitar on there. And since kind of I knew where I played it on the keyboard, I know the key on the guitar, so I can kind of start there. I believe it was in the key of B, so I'll find a B note, which should be there. So that's how I do it, right? So that's how I get in the mood, just real quick. I know there was a few takes here, but generally it doesn't take me that long. I think it took me a little longer just because I was trying to get it good for the camera here. But that's what I do to write music, and hopefully I can get better at this live looping here pretty soon. I definitely want to switch over to Ableton and just, get that Ableton push too. I'm super excited to get that. It's going to be a new piece of gear for me, so I'm definitely looking for one in the marketplace here. Used is good too. I'm not shy about that. I think I'm going to meet up with somebody on Tuesday. I found one on sales, so somebody was selling one for a good deal, so cross your fingers. Hopefully I'll have that here Tuesday and I'll have a new toy to play with. But thanks for watching. I'm hoping this is helping you, and I'll see you in the next one.